What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. We're back with another haul video. um, yeah, I had dinner. I had a few drinks. So yeah, I'm just a little buzzed, and it's a small haul video. So we're gonna get into that in a bit. But more importantly, I'm gonna get something going here. And basically, like I said, if you're watching me yesterday, my live stream yesterday, you basically know I'm in an auction right now. I'm in an eBay auction, which I'm winning. And there it is. This is the auction that I'm winning. So this will be in the backdrop. Well, how much time we have left here? Got 15 minutes. So hopefully you will know live. I've already kind of put in my max bid here, and there are 11 people watching the auction. So we just don't. I mean, I imagine someone's going to come in and snipe it. I shouldn't advertise it like that because you guys are probably going to come in and snipe it. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? So I'm not going to share that. We'll check up on. Hey, Tyler, what's up? We're going to check it up on that eBay listing. And I hope none of you snipe it. I just realized like I shouldn't advertise it like that when I'm winning the auction. So hopefully you guys don't go in and get that. But anyway, we're gonna check up on that. It's literally gonna end. All right, perfect. The auction is gonna end in about an hour. So I'll just kind of give you a live. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, we don't. Either way, I'm fine either way. But again, I've got it set up to where I won't beat myself over it. Like, oh, we should have bid more, or whatever. You know, obviously, I think that book is worth uh, considerably a lot more than what we put as the top bid. But then again, we've got a summer budget to consider. And should I win that auction, that reduces our budget to $20. $20 of summer budget with a good 2 months left. Because this is the first this is the first week, and we're already down. Our $200 budget's already down to 70, and in an hour it could be potentially down to 20. We'll just see. We'll just have to see what happens with that auction. But yeah, if you're tuning in right now, stay tuned. We're going to go through some books I picked up today, and then we're going to check up on that auction in real time to see. We'll do a countdown, because I trust everybody watching here is not going to go in and snipe what I have set up. So, I went into. I had a big haul yesterday. Spent $40, but 40 bucks really well spent. In fact, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what we picked up. One book is right here behind me. And another book, man, I can't get over. It's technically a low grade book. It's technically not even a complete book. It's not a complete book because it's a cover detachment. And anytime you have a cover detachment, it's not quote unquote a complete book. At that point, it's in a special class. Uh, it's called cover detachment. But man, do I love this. The more and more I look at this cover, the more and more I like just am mesmerized and fall in love. So it's a low grade book. I mean, I don't even know how you would. I know in terms of grading, if you're a grading stickler, right? The cover detachment's not a great thing. But if you're a comic book collector, I would imagine, again, if you're a grade snob and all that, which I am to a certain degree, because I appreciate high grade stuff. Don't get me wrong, and I do attach value to it. It's just, for me, if it presents uh, well enough and it's low grade, you know, picking it up cheaper rather than paying like the full value is where I kind of land. Um, Although I am on a book like this, I think, and on I think some of the older books, I do appreciate when a book is looks absolutely fantastic, and that's what we have here. Lois Lane. We picked this up again. We picked up these two for essentially $25 of the 40 we spent yesterday. This is like the bulk of what we purchased, but um, again, I don't have to go into detail. Like, watch my last video if you're curious. But this is a high grade book. We're thinking this is a VF copy here. Um, I mean, I've seen haul videos that um, where you get like VF copies on older books. Um, I mean, this could potentially be a near mint, a mint copy, meaning like could get a 9.0. I mean, it's got flaws, but again, they tend to like give older books some benefit of the doubt and higher grades. So, um, I've got an 8.0 copy of an Action Comics from the 60s. Um, it has its issues, but I was surprised that that got an 8.0. This is much better than that 8.0 copy. So, I mean, I'm tempted to grade this. Um, I I don't want to grade stuff, but on a book like this, when we get it for essentially $20 or so that we paid for it, it's just one of those things like I'm curious, right? I'm just like curious because in my view right now, this book is at least an 8.0. 8.0 would be the baseline, but the ceiling could be like a 9.0, 9.2. I mean, the ceiling could be a 9.2. I don't think it'd get a 9.4, but it could be anywhere from like an 8.0 to 9.2. And so I'm just curious as what we'd get. And that's what makes me want to just like tempt it. You know what I mean? Like tempt um CGC or PSA or CBCS. I would want to get CBCS because I honestly think CBCS is the better service. But it's one of those things where like it it doesn't matter what I think. It's like the market that continues to believe CGC is a standard, and if you're going to sell something, see if you're going to slab something and try to resell it or whatever, CGC is going to get you a more consistent, a more like a higher um, end value. Now, whether I think that's fair or justified, that has nothing to do with it. I think it's a load of crock. But the market is what the market is. And now you have PSA in the mix, and I think the PSA levels aren't as ugly as everyone's saying they are. Um, for me, it's like, why would you make your service more expensive without establishing yourself? I know you've established yourself in cards. PSA's established itself as the market leader in cards, but comic books are a different beast. And I just feel like, you know, just bring your card reputation into the comic book arena and assume that it's somehow more highly valued, um, is just offsetting. So again, I'm not. If I do get this graded, I think I will submit it to CGC. My fear, though, is on a book like this, if they bend the book or do any of that Bengate, nonsense, I mean, that'll be it. I will forever have learned my lesson to not submit a book again. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk, both with whatever grade we're going to get on this book, but also, all the QA issues CGC's having. Hopefully they've resolved it, but from all indications, I don't think that QA issue has been resolved yet. But anyway, I just want to show this book off again. It's just it's so pristine, even with the cover detached. It's like a clean cover detachment, so it doesn't even really impact the spine. The spine is clean as well. You see how clean the staple pops are there, right there? They're just popped. I mean, it's like someone very like it's like someone wanted to pop the staples and they pop them so cleanly. Um, there's just no like there's no residual tears or anything, or even like, I mean, I think this book's been pressed. But then what leads me to believe that this hasn't been pressed is there's just a couple like minor I don't even like finger kind of like crease, page type crease. So I don't think this has even been pressed. It's just absolutely clean and pristine for an early Silver Age book. And I just love this cover. I mean, it's like I think this is the first cover kiss on a Superman book. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know Superman's first kiss, Superboy's first kiss, is in Adventure Comics, I think 170 or something like that. But it's on the interior panels of that book. And Superboy's first kiss is Lana. Lana gives him their first, it's like a innocent, like teen romance type scenario. But that's the book where Clark, or I should say Superman, because it's not Clark that gets kissed, it's Superman that's kissed. Or Superboy, I should say. Superboy gets kissed by Lana in Adventure Comics 170, and that's a big book. That's a big book we want to pick up. Not this summer. I mean, that's unless I get lucky. Unless I get lucky, and again, I'm gonna check I'm gonna check around the area for that book, but that's a book we want to pick up. It's a notable key that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. Like, you want to pick up Superboy's first kiss, right? Um, but I think for all intents and purposes, I think this is super. I know that Lois has been in a kiss scenarios or kiss covers, but I don't know if we've ever seen Superman on a kiss cover prior to this. So let me know if you know in the community, if you know, guys know what Superman's first cover, kiss on a cover is. Um, Please share in the chat because I believe this is it. I believe this is it. All right, so yeah, we picked up some good stuff, and we want to take a break. I wanted to actually take a break and not go anywhere and do that, but it was Sunday. I didn't have anything to do, so I just said, you know what, we're gonna take $3 to Mill Geek and really pick up stuff from the 50-cent bins. Just dig the 50-cent bins, and we walk away with whatever we walk away with. And I went there, and what was disappointing was I was going there with with the hopes that, because Russ, he went to SummerCon and sold a bunch of books at SummerCon. So what I was hoping was like a complete refresh of inventory, like like new books in the 50-cent bins, and kind of like a refresh of all the other back issue stuff. But I went in today, and it wasn't refreshed at all. In fact, I was digging the 50-cent bins, and it was pretty much what I had kind of um, gone through the last time I dug there. So it was a little bit of a disappointment. But having said that, we did still go through everything. And you know what? Like, that's the thing. Like, you can go through and dig again through what you've dug and still find that you've missed stuff or still find good stuff. Um, and it's just really kind of just odd. This looks like it could be something, right? It looks like it could be like a big book. And that's when you will basically like look it up on your app and kind of dig deeper to see if it is like a big book. But it starts with like a digging, oh, this looks like a cool cover, this looks like a cool book, and you kind of dig deeper and look at it, and you realize, oh, it is a key, it is has value to it. And that's kind of what happened today. It's kind of like I had all these Superman books that were kind of like on the periphery of whether I should pick up or not, because these are these are books that aren't priorities, and they're books I can pick up at any time. So that was kind of the reasoning. It's like, we'll dig, and if worse comes to worse, we'll pick up a few of these like 90s Superman books that are on my to complete list. Um, and that was kind of, we had that as a backup plan in case like we absolutely didn't find anything. But for the most part, like we were trying to hopefully trying to pick up good stuff. And anyway, let's just give me a second here. I just want to check in on that auction. Uh, 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 uh. What's going on with eBay here? I want to make sure eBay is like before we why is it prompting? I don't want to sign in necessarily. Going back out. Oh, that's why it's like. All right, let's take a look at what we recently viewed here. Just give me a second here. Oh, it's not even pulling it up for me right now. Hang on. The issue is I'm looking at eBay right now, and the issue is like, I'm not signed in. So here we go. Ending soonest. It's not like pulling up the actual auction because I'm not signed in. Okay, there we go. All right. Still winning the auction. All right. We've got about 30 more minutes before that auction ends. So, all right, let's get to the book haul. 50 cents per book. I picked up 6 books. Like I said, we have some books that I had kind of stashed away, intending to pick up at some point. It's again, no urgency there. We did pick a few of the books up today, but we also picked up some interesting finds. And what I'm finding is like, yeah, I'm still willing to pick up things of value, like key books that are valued much higher. And, obviously grade plays into it, but even with the grade, it's still worth more than 50 cents, right? So we have a couple of those. And I think our book of the haul here is just a surprising Unmyung book. It's like we ran across it. It's like I thought it was cool for what it is, and we picked it up. And we'll go over the value and the grade and all that. All right, so we're gonna get us started here. This is again, we found this, and it's a great classic cover from the 90s. It's actually from the 88 Silver Surfer annual. Beautiful Ron Lim art there. We picked up Silver Surfer annual number 2. It's the origin of, I think it's the origin of this guy right here. I don't know what his name is. It's a key issue. Now, high grade, this is a $10 book on a black cover, which is tough. Now, this book, kind of leans on, I think it's, it's a square bound book. The square bound portion of the spine is actually decent. It's intact for, given the age of a 90s book. It just needs like a clean and a nice press. The corners are relatively sharp. Well, I mean, they're kind of rounded. Again, I would put with a press and a clean and everything, I would put the grade at a 7.5. a 7.5, solid 7.5. With all things equal, there's really not any creasing. Everything is like just edge wear. I mean, corner wear, and just a general like kind of dullness to the colors and everything. Um, Pages look to be off white. So yeah, 7.5. Um, I'd still put this value at around $10, even with the the VF or the Fine Plus grade, right? 7.5 is technically Fine Plus. I don't know, VF minus maybe. So yeah, I'd still land on uh, a VF minus on this one. But yeah, incredible 90s cover art there, Silver Surfer. Um, Nice Ron Lim cover there. All right, so that gets us going there. This one we found, it's a key book. It's the first, it's the birth. I think it's the first appearance and birth of Lena Luthor. And I don't know what's going on in this story, but it's basically this sort of like Mr. and Mrs. Luthor. It's an announcement of the birth of their daughter. And it's got all this blood splattered on this like uh, baby announcement. um, Born November 2nd, 1990. I'm assuming 98. She weighs 6 pounds, 10 ounces. Has her mother's eyes and her father's hair, Lex's hair. We expect great things from her. So yeah, that's just a cool key book there. First birth and first appearance of Lena Luthor, who I guess is now sort of like the successor to the Luthor empire. I guess we've got all these successors. Superman has kids, Batman has kids. Of course, Lex Luthor has to have a kid. So yes, Lena. Oh, is it a rough story? Uh, Does something bad happen to her and make her evil like her dad? That's rough when you start off the whole like infanthood in a tough spot. That's rough. All right, so 2 books down, a couple more to go. Um, I'm gonna start with the 2 books again. 2 books like that we've been meaning to kind of pick up. They're key books in the Action Comics run. They're 90s books. They're great pieces of cover art. We've got Action Comics 645 and Action Comics 692. I picked up newsstands. These are, VF copies of both. Um, so really happy with both of these pickups for 50 cents. They're just now, 2 more books I've checked off from this era that I'm trying to pick up. We're trying to pick up at least all the keys first before we get to the non-key issues. But yeah, I've always loved this cover here by by uh, by Gamble and Butch Geis. It's essentially Mullet Clark. It's weird to see Clark. I mean, it's not weird to see Clark. I mean, it's not weird to see Superman in a mullet because mullet Superman was like the man. But to see Clark Kent in the mullet, doesn't that just give 2 and 2 away? Like you're adding a little bit more credence to the fact that you share that same identity, right? Um, Although I do like the movie's explanation about the glasses. If you have the glasses on, it's like a hypnotic thing to make you like accept the fact that you're not looking at Superman, you're looking at Clark Kent. It's like um, some of that Kryptonian voodoo, I guess, that he puts on you with the glasses. So I do like that explanation. But yeah, again, two great copies here. This is some key around Maxima. I'll have to look up what it is, but it's a key. This one is a key book as well. So got those for 50 cents. Pretty cool. This one was a cool one. It's not necessarily like a high valued book, but it's just a cool because like I'm getting into the Batman adventures, Superman adventures, and now we're gonna get into the, I guess, Justice League adventures. Um, Not that I'm gonna like pick up more of these books, but I definitely am a fan of the animated series now. And this is just a great first. So this is a reprint of the Justice League adventures, and it's a reprint that came out the same year that the first issue was launched. So this is a little bit different in terms of its design. It's got the free comic book day, and it's got watch the new series on Cartoon Network. So those are the two, I guess, distinguishing factors on this free comic book day. So it's nothing of value, but I just think it's a cool cover here. The Justice League from the late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. So really cool cover and book there. Yeah, you got a um, pretty iconoclastic team there. If you're going to put a team together, it's pretty nice. All right. Whew. So what is that? 5 books we've showed off so far. This is the book of the haul here, the last book. All right. I think that was the issue where they found Clark in the rubble. Yeah. It's I think it's the scene where Clark was missing, and he orchestrates something where they find him in rubble, and it ends the mystery of uh, whether Clark had died in the aftermath of all this death, the destruction. So yeah, it's like Clark Kent is inserted back into the fold of the storyline, because everybody thought he died, because he was not to be seen. Good old Tyler. Yeah, nice old Maxima. All right. So this one is an interesting one because, I mean, I never really read this book. I know it was out while I was collecting, but I was more of like the Marvel Age generation. I didn't really jump into the what the. But this is, what the is essentially like, what is it? I mean, it's essentially uh, a series of articles, and like it combines a little bit of the comic books, it combines a little bit of the previews, and um, it's just kind of like a preview edition. So it's like Marvel Age kind of ends, and it's replaced by like what the, and what the doesn't last past 26 issues, which is essentially like what, uh almost 3 years, right? A little over 3 years of publishing history. But yeah, we found this. This is again has a $20 value, and this is a high grade copy that we found. We found the last issue of What the issue number 26, and this is a key book because it's the first appearance of what I mean. How would you even describe this? Spider Pig 2099, or but it's not Spider Pig 2099. It's Spider Ham 1588, which is like, as you can see on the cover here, Spider Ham 1588, mark down from 2099. So it was a 2099, I guess, cover price or whatever, marked down. Spider Ham. All of you know Spider Pig or Peter Porker, right? He's a character that was introduced in the comic books, and then he was inserted in the multiverse, which got everybody really excited. I guess this is the next layer. Uh, this is Piguel O'Hara. Piguel O'Hara, and again, Spider Ham 1588, first appearance there of Spider Ham. So again, just a fun, the Marvel mag of mirth and mayhem. What the? You got Hulk screaming, "What the?" And that is our book of the haul. Again, this is like a $20 book. It's a book I think I like, and again, it'll be fun to see if we do get a Spider Ham introduced somewhere down the line. But it's funny. I just think it's funny. It's especially for like if you were collecting in the '90s, the fact that we had a Spider Ham, and now we have a Spider Ham 2099. So it's all these funny '90s characters that are fun. Yeah. All right. So that was our haul. Let me know what you think of the haul in the comments. I think we got a lot of value. Again, we spent $3, $20 book. This is like a $10 book. This is potentially a higher value book in the future. All of these are key books. Yeah, I mean, 6 key books for $3. So I mean, that's how we roll here on Otaku. I am digging and finding value, so you guys can just stare at my books and maybe I don't know, be inspired to find such finds. And what I'm realizing now about comic books is there's a shitload of comic books out there, and it's one of those things. It's like it's just, I think, collections. We talk about collections, and ultimately, we as collectors hoard shit, and then we get old, and then we die, right? And unless we leave our loved ones with, explicit instructions on what to do with the books, like sell like price out every book and say, make sure you at least get this value for that book. I mean, it's a job for whoever you leave the books behind to, right? They have to basically try to sell these things either individually or as a collection. So oftentimes what you'll see loved ones do is they'll just go to their nearest comic book shop, see what they can get for the books, and just be like, if you take the entire collection, because obviously there's like a good amount of, you know, logistics involved in terms of moving boxes and all that. But basically, I can see my wife being like, man, you're gonna give me how much for this whole thing just to just get it out of my house? All right, I'll give it to you, and it'll be, something grossly undervalued. And you know, that is that's pretty much what happens here in comic book land. So I talked to a lot of the comic book shop owners, and they basically talk about, like, they remember selling that book to a guy, that guy passing on, and that book ending up back in the shop. Like, that's how literal that circle of events is, right? It's like, guy buys a book, guy passes away, and then his wife sells the book back to the guy. And so you sell it for like $1,000, you buy it back for like $100. It's a sad circle of events, in the sense that as collectors, if we are savvy enough to like sell it for closer to what the value of these books are worth, rather than getting scalped by the nearest, LCS with a storefront. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the fate. Now, luckily, I'm going to leave my son, hopefully, with a knowledge of the books. Hopefully, he'll be getting to collecting at some level, and hopefully, he will just see the value in these, and sell off the ones that are just laborious to the volume of the books that are just laborious to maybe keep around. I don't want to burden him with the hoarding aspect, like all these, like this overflow box, for example. I don't want to have him like lugging this overfull box of just absolute garbage. I don't want to say garbage, but they're not. I actually have now, like, wanting to sell my Wolverine collection. I just made the decision because I was like, I know I'm running out of room for my Superman stuff. Something's got to go, and as much as I hate to get rid of my Wolverine collection, because he's one of my first um, loves of collecting, I'm not. I'm not really. I don't know. I realize that Wolverine is something I can always like get back into. You know what I mean? Like, just jump back into and like buy books. It's not a big lift in terms of a lot of the value of those books. And I'm not going to pay some of the higher value, like the Joe Fixit, I the patch Wolverine cover. Um, I have no desire to pick that up, and if like not if I don't want to pick up a key book like that in that run, it's like, what's the point of like having these books from the run? So it's kind of like, I don't want everyone to like sell books, but I've got to like prioritize where I want to, in terms of pickups. And if this Wolverine collection, whether I sell it or trade or whatever, can help me toward getting other books that I do want to prioritize more, so be it. Like, I may keep a couple of these issues. I mean, this is a nice cover here. That one there. That's a pretty nice cover. So let me know if you want to buy Wolverine books. I'll just sell the lot to you. I'll give you a great deal, something like $2 a book. I've got like 30 some issues in the run, so let me know if you're interested. All right, we're counting down. How many minutes we got on the auction here? 6 minutes. All right, so I just need to keep you guys occupied for 6 minutes. So yeah, we've got, assuming I win this auction, okay? Assuming I win this auction, which it looks like I may. Again, I think unless someone comes in and snipes it, it's like, and that's probably what's happening. It's like everybody has an intent to buy this book has maybe put in an initial bid or whatever, and then they're just maybe watching it to snipe it. I know that's something I would do if I'm not winning a particular auction. I tend to just wait and snipe it at the end. So again, with 6 minutes left, anything happen, and I'll just count down the last maybe minute or so with you guys and see what happens. But so that's a big but, because if I win, it's $50 out the window, and that leaves me with $20 for the summer. So what that tells me is, like, I probably have 1 week, one solid week of like reconnaissance. Now, let me see. I want to say I'm going to do 2 more weeks of reconnaissance, meaning, there's a couple of dollar bins here and there that we still haven't hit up. So that, I think we'll go to Tacoma next weekend, or yeah, maybe Tacoma next weekend. We'll go to West Seattle, Tales to Astonish, because they keep a good stash of dollar bin books there. So we'll do a reconnaissance there. We've already done reconnaissance on Subspace. We'll do a reconnaissance on, what's that shop called? There's a small shop in Renton, a lot of dollar bins there. That dollar bin does not get refreshed, because I went there one time and then I followed up almost a year later, like 6 to 7 or 8 months later, essentially the same stuff. So I don't think that guy, I mean, I know he has shit in the back, but I don't think he puts out stuff. Maybe he'll like see where the boxes are getting maybe like low and do a couple, I don't know, move around books or whatever, but it doesn't seem like he's refreshing the inventory all that much. So, but we do want to just at least visit and see what he has. There's a specific book I've been looking, and I'm not running into it, so I'm really lamenting the fact that I had an opportunity to buy it. I didn't, and then someone else picked it up. So, that's something I covered in one of my previous videos. So if you're curious as what that book is, like, go watch maybe like 2 weeks ago what that video was. All right, let's see what we got here. We got how many minutes now? We got 2 minutes left, so we'll just do the countdown together here. Let me go into it. Well, do I really want to? Again, I'm trusting you guys. Let's see how many people are watching it. It's essentially maybe Tyler and Kenneth, and I trust you guys. So hopefully, you guys are just observers of this and don't want this book like I want it. But by all means, if you really want to snipe it, go in and snipe it. But I'm going to share sort of the live results as we count it down. We're under 2 minutes now, so let me just share this thing with you. You should be seeing it. There we go. All right, so we will know in about a minute whether this book is mine or not. And I'm really fine either way, because either way we have more money for the summer budget, or we have um, this incredible piece in my collection. Y'all know how I feel about this book. I mean, I love my wife, right? But I mean, there are a few books in my collection that I'm like I love, and this is one of the books. I just love this book. I love um, I love Kara on this cover. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's the art. So for me, like, having a signed copy of this by the master, the legend, Michael Turner, um, and it's a double signature, so I think it's Peter Steigerwald as well. So we'll see. It's heading down. I don't see an update. Looks like I'm gonna win it. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh man, I won. I think I still won it. That was my top bid. No, 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 no. No. What happened here? A bunch of people, I think, outbid me. So it looks like I got sniped. All right, well, not the worst thing. I anticipated that would happen. So let's see what happened here. I didn't win this auction. My max bid was 41 bucks. Someone bid 51. So that's what happened. Looks like somebody put in a last minute bid, or two people, maybe several people put in a last minute bid, and somebody walked away with the book. All right, again, that's tough. That's a book that just won't come around again. And if it was last summer where I had a much bigger budget, it would have been my book. It would have been my book. It's all right, Tyler. I got 50 bucks of the budget still. So, but yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better book that I'll run into at the LCS. I did just pick up a Michael Turner signed book, so maybe that's a consolation. It is a better looking signature. Yeah. Again, I'm not feeling too bad about it, because I did get a signed book yesterday. Let me find out where that is. It's a beautiful Michael Turner book. It's not Supergirl, but it's early Turner art on Ballistic. It's the second issue there, and it's old school. He writes out his entire name there, Michael Turner. So it's his old school signature. I picked it up for $10. I mean, it just blew my mind away that Jeff would have this and not have it higher valued. I honestly, I don't think Jeff knows the artist. He just doesn't. Just kind of like he'll know his shit, but he also doesn't know a lot of shit related to comic books. He's kind of an old school collector. You know how some of the old school collectors they don't attach value to the stuff younger collectors do or 90s collectors do. Which I get. His childhood stuff is actually highly valued. Whereas I attach value to my childhood stuff. My childhood stuff is just a lot of garbage, a lot of overproduced garbage. So kind of just like, you kind of are your Delta card, your Delta generational collecting card. And again, the people on the older spectrum of that generational collecting card definitely have the higher valued stuff. And in terms of what they value, it's generally accepted that it's higher valued stuff. But for a collector like me, this is the highly valued stuff for me. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Pretty anticlimactic. Got a 6-book haul and then lost an auction. Update on the Mercari fiasco. It's turned into a real cluster mess. Essentially, I have to return the stuff that was misshipped to me. And then when I do that, the guy is expecting the other buyer to also ship back the stuff. So he's essentially going to reroute to go back out to us, but he's going to notify us of like, hey, I'm going to put this up right now. You go in and just buy it, and it'll just get the whole process started. So we'll get a refund. Be getting a refund, and then when the time's right, I just have to rebuy the stuff that I initially was supposed to get, with the promise of like I'll throw in some extra stuff for your troubles. So I'm hoping, again, it's $20 worth of stuff, but it's $20 worth of good stuff. So I do want the books more than I want the cash. That's saying a lot, right? So we're going to go through this whole process and hopefully by next week have the books here. And we'll unbox it when we get it. So it's taking longer than we thought, but we'll have at least 3 books to unbox for you. All right. With that being said, good night, guys. I hope you enjoyed your July 4th weekend. Happy birthday, America. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.